As a rideshare driver, whether driving for Uber or Lyft, what is the most memorable item you can recall that a passenger left in your vehicle? How about a machine gun? What up, folks? Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim with another ride sharing video. Yes, you heard that correctly, a damn machine gun. Rapper Lil Z is in the news. This comes from an article titled, Rapper Lil Z Osama facing federal gun charge after allegedly leaving loaded Glock in an Uber. Now, I don't have any idea who Lil Z is. I do listen to and partake in a little bit of hip hop, but some of these underground artists, hell, I'm getting to be old. I don't know who the hell this guy is. Nevertheless, as a rideshare driver, I do think this is worthy of discussion because we often have passengers leaving things in our vehicle. So first off, simply to start the conversation, what do you do when someone leaves something in your vehicle and they don't tip you? Because the folks want their shit back. Us drivers, we want some acknowledgement as well. I've had passengers send me a message through the ride-sharing companies trying to get or retrieve items, didn't leave a tip, and also were not offering to pay me anything to bring their item back to them. I didn't see what you left behind. I checked the car, there's nothing there. What about yourself? So let's get into this particular article. Leaving a machine gun in your vehicle should, right off the bat, how the hell do you get in the car with a machine gun? Well, there's a little bit more to it than just yelling out the phrase machine gun. Prosecutors say that Lil Z, whose real name is Isaiah Dukes, carried a loaded pistol that had been modified into a machine gun during the rideshare trip from a luxury hotel in Manhattan to a recording studio in Queens, then left it in the back when he exited the vehicle. Now, you hear the words Manhattan, the town Manhattan, you hear about Queens. This happened in New York. I'm bringing up New York because we're going to discuss what this leads to later in the story. But a modified pistol, turning it into a machine gun. It sounds like a Glock with what they refer to as a switch, turning it from a semi-automatic weapon into one that fires continuously from one single trigger pull. Makes the weapon incredibly inaccurate, but when we're talking about folks in the criminal element, they're usually shooting at targets pretty damn close up. So if you happen to walk up on a rival that's sitting in the car with his friends, you can kind of dispatch them all fairly quickly with one of these weapons. But just wanted to bring it up because it shows you what people are getting in their shit with. Now, it gets worse than that because it's the actual integrity of the passenger that is something that should draw alarm. It's not just an individual getting into a car that is a law-abiding Second Amendment citizen that just happens to have his gun on him, because that can absolutely happen as well. If you're transporting somebody from point A to point B, they have a legal right to carry concealed. You don't know anything about what someone's carrying on them, but you want it to be a law-abiding citizen if anyone is going to get in your car with a damn gun. But here is the follow-up. Now, that happened in Manhattan. Remember that. Last month, he was arrested in Chicago after Lil Z and 3 other men allegedly led police on a high-speed chase. When the car was finally stopped, police reportedly found multiple Glock pistols, as well as the same kind of modification device to convert a firearm into a fully automatic machine gun that was featured in Wednesday's indictment. Before that, Lil Z was reportedly arrested in Chicago in January 2023 on separate weapons charges, an incident that led to Lil Z's awkward-looking mugshot going viral on social media. Sounds like this guy is living out his T.I. fantasies where he cannot keep his hands away from firearms. He clearly is a prohibited possessor. Certainly carrying a handgun with a switch is illegal in Chicago. Certainly going to be illegal in New York. I believe putting a switch on a Glock is an illegal modification of a firearm in a variety of states throughout the union. So His incident in Chicago, or better yet, his incident in January 2023, that's a year ago this month, that probably made him a prohibited possessor a year ago, if he wasn't already at that time he got arrested. So this guy is continuing to get involved in weapons charges over and over and over again, which leads to the bombshell. He's facing 20 years in prison. That's according to investigators. He is facing 20 years in prison. That is the shit that an Uber driver had in his car in New York. He's also, I believe the story did say something to the point of he left the gun in another car before. It was another taxi. I believe that one was in Chicago or something like that, but I'm not quite certain of that, but I wanted to bring this up because he did leave it in an Uber driver's car there in Manhattan. But yeah, it sounds like he cannot stay away from firearms, and converting them, putting switches on every gun you're carrying shows that you're expecting to be in gunfights. Look, I don't get why folks who are in an industry like rap music is making plenty of money staying in luxury hotels and still continuing to violate the law to this level, but most likely the authorities are going to sit his ass down somewhere. I mean, he's facing 20. He probably is not going to walk with that many gun charges. Remember the video of the guy jumping over the bench in Nevada to beat the hell out of the judge because she looked at his rap sheet and was like, "You're not getting probation with all this shit on your rap sheet." This guy's attorney is probably going to tell him the same thing. You're going to do some time. We'll try not to get you to 20 years, but you're going to sit down somewhere. You just won't stop doing this shit. Nevertheless, as asked earlier in the video, what would you do if you turned around after dropping off a passenger, saw a shiny Glock, well, Glocks aren't shiny, but saw a nice brand new Glock sitting behind you on the seat? Now, keep in mind, if you don't recognize it has a modification, you're committing a crime just by possessing that weapon. So keep that in mind when the first thought comes to your mind of, well, I could sell this and make some money off of it. You're carrying around a felony. It's a felony to do that to a Glock or a handgun in a variety of states, particularly cities like New York and Chicago. So just want to ask that. What's the most valuable item or most memorable item a passenger has left in your vehicle? What did you do? Did you try to reach out to the passenger? In some cases like this, where you might have to reach out to authorities, would you do that? Somebody leave a Glock in your car or a gun in your car. Would you contact the police? Particularly if they didn't tip. Does that make a difference? Somebody leaves some shit in your car and you notice they didn't tip you at all. Would that make a difference in regards to you reaching out and trying to help them retrieve their item? Maybe it's a laptop, maybe it's a cell phone, maybe it's an item of value. They didn't tip you at all. Would that make a difference? Let your boy know in the comments, because this one was shocking to have a driver turn around and see a damn gun in his vehicle. As always, subscribe to the channel. I do appreciate you folks smashing that like button. See you in the next video.